Getting set to have a blissful weekend, everybody. You just have to understand that when that word FRIDIA comes knocking, a lot of people are so happy because it's time to rest a little bit. Okay, so happy weekend to everybody under the sound of my voice, and welcome to the main event on radio. It is Straight Talk all the way, no bending corners. Today on the show, we'll continue with our conversation yesterday concerning the ADC and the impending wahala in the Nigerian polity. Well, the ADC leadership have accused INEC of being partisan and have called for the removal of the INEC chairman, Amopitan, who in turn has fired back, saying that they are constitutionally guaranteed and independent of any party to play favoritism between party, and they have said they are not going to recognize David Mark and Arigwesala, as well as Gombe Nafiu. None of them will be the leadership. So as it stands now, the ADC has no leadership. What are the legal implications of this? What does status quo mean? A lot of all this we will try to find out today. So we had to go get a legal representative to come and explain some of these things to us, the layman, so we can understand. It is something that has become a very, very serious discussion nationally. Arguments are that this same thing happened last year, and INEC, even when the Supreme Court, when the court judged, they refused to obey the court law last year when it concerns the Labour Party. Right now, all of a sudden, they are just going ahead to act on an order which the court has not given to them to remove the name. The court never gave them any order to remove David Mark's name, according to some arguments, but they did remove David Mark's name in maintaining the status quo. What exactly does INEC want? Does it mean that Ralph Nwosu should come back and become the leader of the party, or no leader at all? That is the question on everybody's lips. It seems that a lot of people are thinking that INEC is playing the dancing the drum beaten by the APC. But unfortunately, APC has distanced themselves from that and say, no, he concern us. Now, you Sabi, your problem is internal. Now, we gave you a little bit of the judgment done by the appeal court, which threw away David Mark's appeal, but the court never, ever said Nafiu is the legitimate leader of the ADC. That's where we're standing. Supporters of Nafiu Gombe were at INEC headquarters protesting that he should be installed as the leader. With all this happening, the ADC National Convention is coming up on the 16th of this very month, April. Okay, what will happen? So if they go ahead with the convention, INEC said they are not going to recognize anything David Mark and his co have done. What is left for the ADC? What a pleasure to be having this conversation with everybody. Welcome aboard to the people. My name is Barry Cosmos, the radio marshal, the one on radio. And of course, I have my microphone partner here, who is...
Mine is Judge Dawn Ikoma.
All right, welcome everybody. We are going to go straight into the newspaper review this morning. Quite a lot of stories, both here and abroad. We'll try to bring you updates from Iran and what's happening in the U.S. Protest in Minnesota. Of course, that community is beginning to become a very serious matter. They say it's human rights, but what exactly is going on? The United States, led by Governor Tim Walz, Tim Walz has said he's going to join the protest, and of course, a lot of federal guards have been sent to Minnesota to quench that particular protest. Donald Trump is not giving them any look at all, but definitely we'll bring you details of that later on the show. So stick around, everybody. It's going to be very wonderful to be with you this morning. Let's go straight to what the papers are saying. All right, we'll start off with the Sahara Reporters. This morning on the Sahara Reporters, a very strange news coming from the U.S. Congress. And of course, the lawmaker posed a series of questions to the State Department seeking clarity on U.S. action. That is the breaking news on the Sahara Reporters. The breaking news is U.S. lawmaker urges Secretary Rubio to impose sanctions on Nigeria over Christian killings. That is the story. According to the story, United States lawmaker Mark Harris has called on the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio to impose sanctions on Nigeria government and over what he described as escalating violence against Christians. In a letter dated Thursday, April 2nd, that was just yesterday, 2026, Harris expressed concern over the escalating persecution of Christians in both Nigeria and Syria, stating that the situation demands immediate attention from the United States of America. Well, they said if Nigerian government does not act, they will. Well, that's the situation now. I wonder what this is all about, but at the end of the day, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu went to Jos yesterday. Guess what? He stopped at the airport and hosted people at the airport, not even the departure wing of the Jos airport, which is like 40 to 45 kilometers away from the city and far away from where these killings happened. The same thing the president did when he was in Benue State at Yelwata, and then he stayed somewhere far, and they said the road was bad. It was raining heavily, so he couldn't get to the village. So every time he pays a condolence visit to a state, he doesn't get to where the action is happening. And this time around, he didn't even leave the airport. Immediately he finished talking to them, entered the plane, and got back again. This has brought in a lot of conversation. I don't know what you make of this story, Dan.
Okay, we aren't surprised anyway. You've said it all.
All
isn't
right.
it?
Well,
What more to say?
Well, let's move on to other stories on this one is a very funny one. In Enugu State, please, I read it out for the people.
Okay, student nurse suspended for viral video exposing Enugu General Hospital without lights, water, and oxygen.
All right. More details on that story, please.
Okay, Governor Peter Mba's administration is facing a backlash following the indefinite suspension of a student nurse who went viral for exposing the dilapidated state of Owani General Hospital in Enugu. The nurse, in a tearful follow-up video shared on TikTok and X, formerly Twitter, confirmed that she has been barred from her clinical duties and removed from the hospital's workforce as punishment for whistleblowing.
Now, when I saw this story, I decided we're going to bring this up on air. This is now power play. This is not the first time. Remember the young girl who did her video in Rivers State?
Yeah.
Because of a school, she was punished, the backlash of the people. She's been fired from her job. And now that the government, if you do or commit or say anything against the government where you work, fired. Where is this freedom of speech in this country? How nice. Oh, my God. I wonder where we are heading to with this kind of government in Nigeria, where we have, if you talk, bye-bye. If you talk, you die. If you don't talk, you still die. So which one you go choose? Well, this is Enugu State now. True. It happened. Anyway, my signature was forged. ADC factional chairman Afiu Bala disowned resignation letter amid leadership crisis. Who forged the signature? Now, this is so funny. There has been this talk about Bala Gombe resigning as leader during when Wara Funwosu was handing over. Now he said his signature was forged. All of a sudden, your signature was forged. Since this whole thing has been going on, you've said nothing. Mama Nkechi envelope, that exchange hand. And where was that Mama Nkechi envelope come? Anyway, allegedly, of course. Bala reaction comes amid a deepening leadership crisis rocking the opposition party. And shortly after the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC announced fresh decisions affecting the party's structure. The factional national chairman of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, Nafiu Bala, has rejected reports claiming he resigned from his position, describing the circulating document as fake and forged. Bala's reaction comes amid the deepening leadership crisis rocking the opposition party, and shortly after the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, announced fresh decisions affecting the party's structure. Wow. This is ridiculous. If you ask me, every time something doesn't go anybody's way, they say they forged it. Who forged it? Who forged this particular document that is circulating? Which forensic expert has gone through to know that this signature was forged? What on earth is Bala saying? But definitely the court will determine. Now, I think Rapid Court has ordered for a accelerated hearing of the case involving Bala, Nafiu Gombe, and David Mark and the ADC all put together. Well, that's the much we can take from that story. Let's head on to the Vanguard newspaper. Let's get this one done.
Okay, ADC uproar greets INEC's acing of Mark Aregbesola.
Axing of Max. This uproar. Let's get more details on that story. All right, let's get more details.
Okay, a major political storm erupted across the country yesterday following the decision of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to de-recognize Senator David Mark and Ogbeni Ralph Aregbesola as National Chairman and National Secretary of the African Democratic Congress, ADC. The development triggered sharp reactions across Nigeria's political landscape, exposing deepening fault lines ahead of the 2027 general elections, with opposition parties alleging a coordinated attempt to weaken them, while the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, and the presidency dismissed such claims as baseless. On a day that security operatives surrounded INEC headquarters in Abuja to avert protests from viral groups, the ADC took on INEC, the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, and vowed to go ahead with its congresses and national convention in spite of the electoral umpire's statement that it would not attend.
All right, this has set the showdown. Why now? Since why now? Why now that the convention is just around the corner? APC has finished their convention. The PDP has done their convention. The LP are doing their convention. All of a sudden, you strike just less than 2 weeks to the convention. It is so fun. That's just like the biggest April Fool we've had in ages, but that's what it is. The biggest question now is, will there be election in 2027? If every other party decide not to contest, will APC alone participate in the election? These are questions that need answers. Well, we head on to Plateau State now. And Plateau killings, this won't happen again, Tinubu vows. Tinubu, wait till you vow. Well, the president in just Plateau State yesterday directed security agencies to track down and apprehend those responsible for the killings in Angwa, Rukuba, Jos North local government area, LGA, Plateau State, even as he consoled families of victims. The deadly incident occurred on Palm Sunday when suspected bandits attacked a popular bar in the community, leaving over 28 people dead and many others injured, according to the Plateau State Police Command. Well, Tinubu say it will not happen again. Will this actually happen again? Only time will tell. Everybody, let's go there. All right, let's get this one to the people out there.
ADC factional chair Nafiu Bala disowns resignation letter, says his signature is forged.
All right, I think we've said more on this one. Will allow you to have your say on that particular one. Let's head on now to the Punch newspaper. On the Punch newspaper, we have a 2027 battle. INEC under fire as ADC crisis worsen. This is just the reigning story now everywhere. There was a protest that was supposed to happen yesterday. They say it's Save Our Democracy protest, but it has been postponed. I think it is being sponsored by the Obedient Movement and all that. But that has been postponed for now. But with this crisis, are we going to hold election come 2027? That's the question now, trending. So let's get your opinion on that one. All right. Thai Prime Minister blames hoarding and smuggling for fuel shortage. Who is hoarding this particular fuel? In Thailand, they are complaining of fuel shortage. All right. What do people gain from hoarding fuel? Increased price, less supply, and that will make a lot of people. Once something is scarce, it becomes very expensive. No doubt about that. Foki annuls inflation down slightly in March. And of course, Easter gridlock leaves motorists stranded on Abuja Lokoja Highway. Too bad. All right, let's look at this one down. World Bank.
Okay, World Bank injects $500 million into Nigerian farms.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Let's get a little bit of that story.
Okay, the World Bank has approved a $500 million International Development Association credit to boost Nigeria's agricultural sector under a new program targeting smallholder farmers, value chains, and food security. The funding will support the Nigeria Sustainable Agricultural Value Chains for Growth project, also known as AGRO, which aims to improve productivity, strengthen market linkages, and create jobs across the country. A press statement obtained from the World Bank's website on Thursday reads, the World Bank has approved a $500 million International Development Association credit for the Nigerian Sustainable Agricultural Value Chains for Growth project amid increasing smallholder farmers' productivity, strengthening agricultural value chains, and creating jobs while improving food and nutrition security.
Do you think this is a loan? They say they injected. What do they mean by injected? Anything World Bank does for Nigeria is always like a loan. Anyway, it's not stated if this is a loan, but definitely if it is not a loan, good one. If it is a loan, the loan keep piling. The governors, Dangote meet the 66 billion naira to Oluremi Tinubu's food bank. Here. Governors and Dangote commit 66 billion naira to Oluremi Tinubu's food bank. What did that mean now? Well, the National Community Food Bank Program received pledges totaling over 66 billion naira on Thursday as it launched and inauguration of the Board of Trustees at the State House Conference Center, Abuja. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pate, made the announcement during his keynote address at the event hosted by the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. The Aliko Dangote Foundation led private sector contributions with a 20 billion naira in-kind commitment over 5 years, followed by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited pledge of 10 billion naira over the same period. The Maker of Four Foundation pledged 500 million naira upfront, while anonymous friends of the First Lady contributed $500,000, approximately 750 million naira at current exchange rates. Okay, well, it's a good one. People are saying these things are raised because of politics and vote buying. Have you seen the video in Lagos where, I don't know, campaigns have not started. They are sharing bag of rice, shouting APC, Asiwaju for president, Asiwaju for second term, and his face is on the bag, Operation Show Your PVC, and are giving bags of rice to these people. What is going on? INEC, when they see this thing at all, is this not campaign? Is this not open koro inducement? You make people hungry only for you to use hunger as a weapon for you to give to them. They take their voters card, and we're hearing that they're compiling NIN numbers. What for? Okay. Only time will tell. In EPL, that is the English Premier League, De Zerbi apologizes to Tottenham fans over Greenwood comments. All right? You want to know more about that? Wait for the sports chef to bring you more details. 2027, Falana Adams predict one candidate presidential pool. Oops. Is this going to happen? AFCC moves to seize 57 Malami linked properties. This Malami, this man, much woes for you. All right, on that note, let's open up the phone lines as we bring you some other news from our local papers here. Let's open up the phone lines. 0911 20022 0707
1014.
All right, that is the number to call. Let's take this caller. Good morning. Who they?
Oga Barry, good morning, oh.
Ah.
And,
Hello, good morning.
Ekoma, good morning, oh.
Good morning.
And Good Friday. Not, I think it's Good Friday. Yes, Good Friday.
Yes.
And I should have started with Good Friday before the good morning. Whichever way,
Yes.
good is good.
Yes.
Except in Nigeria political structure. Barry, you know, every morning I listen to you. I wonder whether almost all the radio stations have specialized in telling us everything that will make us unhappy, make us miserable. But you are reporting what is happening.
Oh, God.
So it's like the events are clear.
Okay.
When the president was declared winner of the election, the jobbers and strategists and all the names they have, the prophets and prophesiers, they started working for second term. But I have said that anybody who wishes Nigeria well, anybody who wishes Nigeria well, we must insist that constitution must be amended now for a single term for anybody. It doesn't affect the incumbent to let him not say I'm already here and you are making a new law. That anybody who wants to be president or governor in Nigeria must go for a single term of 5 years. All the goodness in you, bring it out in 5 years. After that, go. Because the question of re-election second term is eating up the resources of the states and of the federal government. But can you imagine how much money has gone in since the last 2 years, has gone into re-election, into second term, whatever name they call it. Now there are seers and prophets who are telling us what God told them. They hear the voice of God. They don't hear the voice of men. They see God in their dreams. They don't see human beings who are suffering and crying for basic necessities. They hear what heaven is saying, that it is well. But Nigerians who go to the market are saying we cannot afford to buy basic necessities. That is single term. How you want to help mount the campaign? I don't mind. I can use crutches. I can use my walking stick. I can hire a wheelbarrow to take me along as we go to say one term for any governor, one term for any president. After that, you go to the Senate or go to the House of Representatives and stay for life. Good morning, Barry. That's the only thing I'll be telling you. Any day I call you again, I'll be talking only of a single term. Whether the economy is going up or is sitting down, I won't talk anything again.
All
Whether
right.
Party A is in power or Party B. Barry, one term of 5 years for anybody who seeks to serve Nigeria. When you have served Nigeria for 5 years, you can go home and rest. I am
right.
senior citizen, Mas Josama.
Thank you very
Friday,
much.
Good Friday.
Happy Good Friday to you. All right, today is Good Friday, of course, and today, anybody, if you're a Catholic or most of those Orthodox one, no go chop flesh, or because you don't they chop what you're not supposed to chop. Because you're born you or purge you for Belair. Anyway, that was the senior citizen there saying this one-time agenda has been proposed before, say 6 years, not just 5 years. The Nigerian Assembly rejected it like the way that they reject, what did they call them, lepers in those days. But at the end of the day, where would these 5 stand lead us to? They will not even work at all. Before, you usually work your first time, second time, use and pack money where you use come out. But now, they don't even work anyone again because they don't care about you if you vote for them or not. But if we have a single term, well, you don't work, your party gets booted out of the office. Well, these are all propositions, but definitely the people who make the law, will they ever agree? Anyway, let's head on to the weekend, Nigerian Weekend News Point. Today is another day for us to look at this one. So let's start with Atiku to lead opposition leaders in major press conference over INEC delisting. That story is on page 2 of the Weekend News Point. you can grab a copy and read for yourself. Let's take this on that.
Okay, federal government declares today, Monday, April 6th, public holidays for Christians to celebrate Good Friday, Easter.
All right. Today is April 3rd.
Yeah.
And of course, that's what it
Monday.
means today, 3rd. And then Monday, April 6th, is another public holiday. So no work, no bank. Everybody calm down. If you know home money now, that one I waited and tell you. All right, let's move on. Baba Aladura, Essex prelates Easter message. Bob Manuel to Christians. Members, preach undiluted God's words. Live by them. Renew your mind. That is what the prelate is saying. Bob Manuel, U.S. only country in world stupid enough to allow birthright citizenship, says Donald Trump. Are they stupid? Well, what does it mean if those days are gone in Donald Trump's own country, where if you're pregnant, you get to the U.S. and then you give birth, the child automatically becomes a U.S. citizen. Donald Trump is trying to stop that, and that is one of those things. Power shortage. Tinubu grinding electric generating companies owes them 6.3 trillion naira. Unbelievable. 2026 APC National Convention produces new chairman and other National Working Committee members. All right, let's just dwell on this citizenship, birthright citizenship a little bit. Donald Trump is fighting so hard to cancel that. And of course, he has the majority in both the Senate and the House in the U.S. Will this ever work? If it does happen, what will be the fate of people seeking citizenship for their children in U.S.? So long as you are not, your father is not a U.S. citizen, your mother is not a U.S. citizen, that does not give you automatic qualification to be a U.S. citizen. This is one thing Donald Trump has been fighting. And a lot of the Arab world say it is a fight against them. And I keep asking, why would they think it's a fight against Muslims? Even though Donald Trump has been a hardliner on Muslim issues, there are countries in Europe like Poland where there's not even a single immigrant from the Muslim country. They say they don't want anything to do with it, and that's why they have zero terror attack. Nothing like that ever happens. One, because they would not allow them to come into their country. But right now, there is a debate in the American Congress where the Muslims are asking for Sharia law in the United States, God's own country. So these are all issues Donald Trump is fighting. By the time you get to a state, then they now form a community. From forming a community, they begin to demand for Sharia. And Sharia law is simply they obey the Sharia law more than they even obey the Constitution. So if you go to a country and you have to live within their country and live within their laws and the way they live their lives. I've listened to a whole lot of commentary on this matter, and some of them are very, very, so raw that we can't say them here because our media is a regulated press. But definitely, when you take a look at some of these things, you begin to wonder, why will people leave their home to go to another man's land and then want to impose something that is alien to the country and the country people? Because it only affects them. From them, it starts spreading. That is how it has been. So, at the end of the day, is Donald Trump right to stop this birthright citizenship in the U.S.? Let's take another caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Please turn it down, turn it down, turn it down. Turn down the volume of your radio. Please bring it down. Oh, apparently you are just breaking our eardrums. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Barry.
I greet you.
Good morning, Don.
Good morning.
Barry, happy Good Friday to you, and happy Good Friday to Don.
Yes, sir.
Happy Good
I'm
Friday.
going to invite you for a very lavish Easter celebration on Sunday. Just get prepared, you and Don, yes. My name is Chief Jude Umadia. I usually come from Duchi, as you must say. Well, APC concludes a national convention and elects national executives. And this is a welcome development. And they couldn't have come from a party that is actually not completely built up with internal democracy. As I join all the opposition political parties to go and live for what APC live, where all the geopolitical regions supported the candidature of the incumbent President Tinubu, where everything went on fine as should be expected. And that is the way to go. A good beginning, the Englishman says, makes for a good ending. Honestly speaking, the peaceful and orderly manner we put APC conducted a national convention. I mean, it's
right.
a catalyst, a litmus test.
Thank you.
That, I mean, the election of 2027 is as good as having been won by
Chief
APC,
Jude, you don't do.
including the incumbent
Chief
president.
Jude, wait.
For the opposition political parties. So what are we not talking about?
All right, thank you.
That is the way it is. Even as all that.
Chief Jude, I had to cut you off. You are promoting APC on my show. You can't do that. All right, thank you. I said, hold on, no one here. You cannot use this program to promote APC. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Don.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I wish both of you happy Good Friday.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. The Balaman who said that, who disowns his signature and resignation. I think resignation of that nature, that level, is done officially and publicly too, with some documentations. I don't know why he is disowning the signature and resignation now. That has been the problem. Like I said yesterday, if I were at the hierarchy of ADC, I will ignore whatever antics APC or federal government and its institutions like INEC is trying to use to destabilize ADC at this critical moment and move on with what I'm doing with the convention and subsequently the 2027 election. That's the way I look at it. But if they allow this distraction to disturb them or disorganize them, I think it will affect the entire citizen because majority of us are with them actually. Thank you, Amma from Uche Street.
Thank you very much,
All right,
Amma.
thank you very much, Amma, for your contribution. We head on to the Star Post midweek. All right, the Weekend Express, where we have the lead story here is APC stronger than ever. Robertson Equibalem hails Uzadima's leadership. Equibalem, I think, was it one of the governorship candidates? Well, I'm not sure about that, but now he is saying APC is stronger than ever. All right, well, Onukogu emerges Egbada, youth president, and of course, Dan help us with this one.
Okay, Ofekata Orodo Monarch appoints Onkwe Chinedu Oswa as member of AZ in Council.
All right.
Of AZ in Council. Saffield Onyeneke. Fidel Onyemeke congratulates Senator Ezenwa Onyenwuchi at 58th birthday anniversary.
All right, and this other one says Imo House of Assembly former member chairman customary court Abombi say Honorable Dr. Celestine Njoku goes home. And of course, on Thursday, April 30th, 2026, that is when Imo State lost this great son from Abombi. Say, may so rest in peace. Okay, let's get to one of the last headlines before we call it a wrap on the newspaper review this morning. Okay, we have the Frontline Express. On the Frontline Express APC convention, Yelwada Ajibola Bashiru returns as national chairman, and Honorable Udeze Okechukwu is okay. Congratulations, Honorable Ikechukwu Sunday Ume on his new position at APC national level. And
okay, Imo Youths defend police Tiger Base, honor ACP Oladimeji as best commander.
Imo Youths defend police Tiger Base. Yeah? Is it the same Tiger Base everybody villainize and say a whole lot of things that are very, very crazy to the ears? Are they really congratulating the Tiger Base? Well, that's strange, but then it's on the Frontline Express, and of course, Chief Charles Orie, redefining leadership and driving real value across Imo State. All right, that's the much we'll be taking from that paper. Let's get some of the messages out before our time is over for now. Okay, we have this one says, good morning. Good morning, Barry and George Donicoma. My name is Felix Mbozo, texting from Omahi, Mbieri. It is very laughable that Mr. President Tinubu visited the airport in Jos and not the victims of the terrorists. This means that with all his security and bulletproof cars, he is still afraid of the bandits and terrorists. And again, I want Nigerians to reject any promise or promises coming from Tinubu and his APC government are empty promises, and they are promises from the pit of hell. But when you see something and you say something, you will be sacked. That nurse that was sacked in Enugu for whistleblowing shows that this APC government are just like green snake in green grass. Omahi should speak for himself and not for millions of Nigerians. Thanks and enjoy your day. Happy Good Friday to you.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Uche.
Hey, that's not for us. All right.
Okay. Good morning, and thank God it's Good Friday to Uncle Barry, Cosmos, and Madam Don Ikoma, as well better person connected. We are yours, humble Obere Jesus and Ifechuku Patrick Ebujo. We're texting from our home, Umo Kreka, Umoba Urata, Owerri North, LGA. We say, is there law in Nigeria? May God lead us.
Is there law? Well, this one says, bonjour, Barry, and my beautiful queen in the studio. Barry, Mr. President, visit to Plateau is a welcome development, but more need to be done as to protect the life and properties of Nigeria. Happy Friday, my people. Well, when you say visited Plateau, did he actually visit Plateau? Like that one say he visited the airport. Because you can't be in just airport and say you visited the people. It's not really very good. Let's take this one.
Okay, Double Barry and Don Break. Good morning. Compliment of the season. Barry, APC hand are in the ADC issue. Let the INEC chairman be very, very careful. All eyes are on him and his team. Barry, everybody has right to his or her opinion, but let Chief Jude be very careful on his opinions, reactions when concerning human killing in Nigeria. He should stop provoking us. Sorry for Nigeria having Tinubu as president. See 2027, see revolution. Thanks to Imo government for cleaning up the waste bin. Finally, my greetings to senior citizen, senior lecturer, also a philosopher. Have a nice day.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Engineer Ebuka texting from Futo. Aye. The removal of David Mark as ADC National Chairman from the INEC portal can be viewed as a deformation of democratic principles when assessed from an institutional perspective. Democracy relies on due process, transparency, and the consistent application of established rules. Any action that appears to bypass or disrupt these principles raises concern over the integrity of the system. Such a development may suggest a breakdown in procedural order, where decisions are implemented without clear alignment with recognized structures or expectations. This can create uncertainty within the political environment, as stakeholders may begin to question the reliability and fairness of institutional processes. Furthermore, democratic systems function best when there is coherence between regulatory bodies and political organizations. When the coherence is weakened, it can lead to perceptions of imbalance, reduce accountability, and diminish trust in governance and mechanisms. In this context, the situation highlights the importance of maintaining structured, transparent, and well-coordinated processes. Upholding these principles is essential to preserving the credibility, stability, and effectiveness of any democratic system. Happy Easter in advance, Barry and Dawn. Engineer Ebuka texting from Futo. Thank you very much.
Happy Easter to you. Dr. and Mrs. Umma Olebara from Owerri, let every Nigerian and indeed Nigeria be crucified with Christ, shedding off all manner of corruption, ungodliness, deceitful and uncommitted leadership in all quarters, all manner of unrealistic and flamboyant living. Let our leaders come out devotedly as redeemers of their fatherland, being sensitive to the sufferings and suppression of ordinary Nigerians. Let the followership be dedicated like early Christians. Then shall we truly hope for a better Nigeria ahead. Thank
Okay.
you.
And this one says the president will give the bandits boldness. They may be more deadly going forward since the president is afraid. Okodeli Ibekwe from Ishowere. Owe, he said the president is afraid. How is the president afraid, Ogami? Because he never entered Jaws. Anyway, that's your opinion. And everybody has their own opinion, and I cannot deny you your own opinion. All right, let's see if we have some messages on the Facebook. On Facebook, we have Gentility Innocent. Nigerian politics is rubbish. They are matured enough.
They aren't matured enough.
Yeah, that's what it means to say. Okay, this one is from Chiven Okwono, I think, Dan.
Oh, okay. Great Barry and beautiful Akoma, the president's visit to Plateau State is an insult to the sensibilities of the people. Why should a president who claims to have come to commiserate with the people spend only a fleeting 10 minutes at the airport? To me, that was a gross display of insensitivity. In all, I blame Plateau State, people who even traveled all the way to the airport to receive Tinubu. Happy Good Friday, Barry and Akoma.
Thank
Happy
you.
Good Friday to you.
Thank you. Don Ike says, good morning, Barry Chukwemeka Trump. INEC is working with APC government just to make other parties
To fail.
to fail. Oh, boy. Which be Chukwemeka Trump again? Hi, God. I know keep me for this stage. Okay, we have 4 minutes just about that to take another caller. Good morning. Are you kidding me? Good morning.
Good morning.
Barry Cosmos, and good morning, Don. I greet all of them. And if I have to get you, let me get out of
All right.
my local government.
Okay.
Yes, with all we are seeing now about INEC and the ADC, every person knows, even children, that the hand of APC is in it. But my question goes, I will just end it with this question. If APC or the ruling government succeed in shutting other political parties up and closing them finally, who is going to contest with them in 2027? That's going to bring a very big problem. By the time they close all the political parties, and then it is only them and them alone to stand on that very day, it's going to be a problem. So let them rethink, let them have a rethink. If they don't have opposition, that means there's no democracy in Nigeria. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Radio General.
All right, thank you. Radio General, good morning. Thank you. Good morning. Who they are?
Good morning, Barry.
Hello,
greet
good
you.
morning.
I greet you, Don.
Good morning.
I am Chief Bright Ago. I do come from Mohabele, London, in Obosema. In fact, my senior uncle, Edaifa Yuku, have said it all. I just want to add by telling our dear president that his body language is an invitation to Americans and the Trump. When I say Americans, American soldiers and the Trump. And he should know that the day a person starts to insult himself, others will join. Chief Bright, that remains my name. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you
Thank you,
very
Chief Bright, for
much.
being brief, straight to the point, as I like it. Julina CK says, good morning, my eloquent and majestic Barry Corsi and beautiful Don George. Happy Good Friday and Easter in advance. The president's visit to George yesterday and his attitude to the bereaved members of the bandits attacked can be described as a lip service and a make-believe one. The president just wasted our aviation fuel and money for his entourage. He could have just stayed in Lagos and said all he did at Jos Airport. Yes, the president's visit does not have any impact as far as those grieved and bereaved Jos family members are concerned. This gesture is quite becoming of a president of a country that it should cause a raise of eyebrows even to an ass. Again, this promise to provide CCTV cameras is as good as nothing, as it cannot solve the problem. The president should help us identify and deal with the terrorists and bandits, as Gumi said. Action should speak louder than words. As in the lady Julie Nosike. And of course, we have this one done.
Okay, Mazi Odeniwo Ifeanyi Chukwu Iwu from Ikenewu. To God be the glory to have evacuated part of the rubbish in Ikenewu Girls Secondary School and pass. They should come and remove all. Imo youths comment Tiger Base or whatever. Please disregard that information as it is coming from unscrupulous elements who are only after their stomach. We, the real Imo youths, dissociate ourselves from the rhetoric and calumny.
Oh boy. All right, I think that's to be the march we'll be taking on the papers this morning, and we will shift gears into the conversation proper in a jiffy. But before we go, if you're just joining us, this is Straight Talk live on Echo FM 100.7. We will be taking a look at the incidents of delisting the leadership of the ADC political party, where David Mack and Ogbeni Rauf Regbasola were delisted on the portal of INEC, meaning ADC has no leadership at the national level. And INEC has categorically stated that anything they are doing right now, they will not witness it. And if they don't witness it, they will not
sanction it.
Thank you very much. That's exactly what is going to happen. But with this happening now, when will the court case be heard at the Federal High Court to determine who is going to be the legitimate leader of the ADC? After the High Court, there's appeal court, and it will further get to the Supreme Court. When will this happen? When we have elections in less than 8 months, to be precise. So it is very, very funny. And this is what we will be taking a look at after this timeout. Don't go nowhere. We will be right back.
Echo FM. It's the sound of the city. Echo 100.7.
Echo FM 100.7, the fresh news people.
Oya mama papa okoro na agbo ngwa were ọsọ were ije gaa ka ịgbata kaadị gị ugbu a.
Do you want to study abroad? Are you interested to pursue studies in Europe, America, and the Middle East? Do you want admission for yourself, your child, and relatives, or colleagues? Then worry no more. SG Education Nigeria Limited and Optimal Limited UK got you covered. We are your student admission visa experts, and now we bring to your doorstep a World Education Fair, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get first-hand information for your admission abroad. Dates: 18th April 2026. Venue: Hotel The Copperfield, number 43 Okigwe Road, Owerri, Imo State. Time: 10 10 a.m. prompt. If you want to study in Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, Europe, USA, Malta, France, Spain, and many other countries in the Middle East, come with your documents for on-the-spot admission into any university of your choice. Information is power. Remember, on the 18th April 2026 at Hotel the Copperfield or Kigwe Road, Owerri, Imo State. SG Education Nigeria Limited and Optimal Limited UK. We got your back.
Party never fade. It's coming to your town. Lounge and fine restaurant. Feel the rhythm, catch the vibes.
Oh, wait, are you ready for the next big thing coming to your city? The grand opening of the Waves, your one-stop entertainment hub. Nightclub, fine restaurants, indoor and outdoor lounge. Come and experience 2 days of non-stop vibes happening live this Easter weekend on the 5th and 6th of April 2026. Celebrities like Destiny Etiko, Jayla, Nancy Ihime, Nelly Bibi Niger, Lucy Donat, and more will be there. Music and vibes, DJ Pretty Play, and Nedu Wazobie. Venue Plot 110, Area B, New Owerri, beside Domino Pizza. You don't need to be told that you have to be there.
Lounge and fine restaurant. Feel the rhythm, catch the vibe.
Echo FM.
This week to help those in need.
If you know that it's God Almighty that created you and created we Nigerians like you need to do good things for us because the masses are suffering. How can suspend me here? Are we your slaves?
And I'm going to win this election.
That is the truth.
Stay informed with Echo FM 100.7. Join us for exclusive interviews with experts, breaking updates on local and global events, and in-depth coverage of issues impacting our community. Tune in every weekday at 6:30 a.m., 12 noon, 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. for our major news bulletin in English, Igbo,
People, this is not story time. On top, Echo
and Pidgin language. For more inquiries, you can reach us through our email, echofm@thekingmail.com. You can follow us on our social media handles at Echo FM. Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. We are the Fresh News People.
From the newsroom of Echo FM comes the news update at 10. Here are the latest stories we are keeping tabs on. President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to strengthening security cooperation with neighboring Chad and has pledged renewed joint action to combat terrorism and banditry across the Lake Chad region. President Tinubu made the pledge while receiving the President of Chad, Mahamat Idris Deby, at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Both leaders held a joint press conference that focused on regional security and collective strategies to address emerging threats. The federal government has declared that ignorance among public servants is a major enabler of unethical conduct, unveiling a public enlightenment drive to reposition the Code of Conduct Bureau, CCB, as a frontline preventive institution. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris called for a sustained nationwide sensitization campaign, warning against one-off engagement that failed to create lasting behavioral change. In Abia State Police Command has confirmed the detention of 4 suspects arrested with military uniforms in Umuahia, the state capital. The Commissioner for Police, Danladi Issa, disclosed that investigations were ongoing and assured that the suspect would be prosecuted accordingly. The CP noted that crime rates in Abia State have declined significantly, attributing the development to sustained police operations launched in December. In Ogun State, in Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has summoned the management of the Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company over the prolonged blackout affecting major towns in the state. The governor further directed the Commissioner for Energy to convene a meeting involving IBEDC and Consumer Advocacy Group to address the crisis. The storm, which hit Oshogbo and surrounding areas, disrupted electricity and telecommunication infrastructure, leaving many communities without power. The Federal Capital Territory Police Command debunked reports alleging security threats in Kuje Area Council, describing the claims as false and misleading. In a statement signed by the Police Public Relations Officer, SP Josephine Ade, the command explained that the presence of security personnel in the affected areas was part of routine patrol and proactive measures to ensure public safety and should not be interpreted as a sign of imminent danger. Families of police officers who died in active service received checks totaling 53.3 million naira from the Lagos State Police Command under the Inspector General Police Family Welfare Scheme. The presentation, which formed a major highlight of activities marking Day 4 of the 2026 National Police Day, was held alongside a security stakeholders meeting aimed at strengthening community partnership in crime prevention. And in sports, Italy's Soccer Federation President Gabriele Gravina resigned amid political pressure, just 2 days after Azzurri failed to qualify for a third consecutive World Cup. Gravina's decision is expected to trigger the departure of Italian coach Gennaro Gattuso as well. Gravina assumed control of the federation in 2018, replacing Carlo Tavecchio, who also resigned after Italy failed to reach the year's World Cup. And in business, the Nigerian Sovereign Wealth Fund, NSIA, and the World Bank are working towards financing large-scale power and ports infrastructure projects in Nigeria. Briefing the press on the 2025 financials of the authority in Abuja, NSIA's Managing Director, Mr. Aminu Umar Sadiq, confirmed that to this effect, the Nigerian Infrastructure Finance Guarantee Platform would soon be launched. And on the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump stated that the tallest bridge in Iran had been destroyed hours after threatening to bomb the countries back to the Stone Ages. The B-1 bridge, which was still under construction, is considered the Middle East's tallest. Trump delivered a speech in which he argued that the war launched by the United States and Israel on February 28 was almost over, even as he threatened to bomb Iran extremely hard if it didn't bow to his demands. That is all for the news update at 10 as edited by Benjamin Joseph. For more information and inquiries, visit our social media platforms. On Facebook is at Echo FM. On X at Echo FM_Owerri. On Instagram and YouTube, Echo FM 100.7. You can listen to us anywhere in the world by clicking on www.echofm.net. And that is the news update at 10. Thank you for listening.
Echo FM.
Echo FM 100.7, the fresh news people.
Every day,
every hour,
every minute,
and every second,
breaking news occur.
From our villages,
in our cities,
new government policies,
the economy,
politics,
social news,
entertainment news,
security concerns.
We, the people, converge
to analyze,
separating facts from fiction,
lies and truth.
We dissect,
we integrate,
we harmonize,
we criticize,
and we bring you all the juicy details.
Live on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. It is Straight Talk.
Straight Talk.
Straight Talk on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri.
Kapua! Shall I begin? I am your host. I am your anchorman. I am the presiding bishop of this ministry, and I am awesome. My name is Barry Cosmos, the Radio Marshal, the Buruburu One on radio, the Okenze on radio, your big brother on radio. I am the main event, and I am here.
Live on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri.
Are you ready?
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Welcome back to Straight Talk Live on Echo FM 100.7. It is time now for us to go into that conversation proper. At this point in time, let's introduce our guest, Barrister Chuk Saguba, who is in the studio right now with us. Good morning and welcome, Barrister.
Good morning, Barry and Miss Dawn. And good morning, beautiful and handsome Imolites.
Well,
welcome.
It's great to have you here back. Today we have a lot of legal interpretations that we'll need your expertise on. But before we do that, let's just get... I told you earlier I was going to give you some updates in Iran. Iran has reported shooting down a U.S. F-35 fighter jet. This is the second one it is going to be bringing down over the Iran. The Revolutionary Guard said they shot it down and they brought it down. They are not sure if the pilot survived. America is yet to bring in any, whether to agree or disagree on that particular one. America has not made any comment to that. Of course, we heard in the news that America shut down the bridge. Donald Trump 2 days ago gave a speech saying he's going to bomb Iran back to the Stone Age if they refuse to yield to his demand of ending the war and make sure they stop producing any nuclear weapon. And of course, Iran has rejected that and said they will end the war on their own terms. They also refused to open the Strait of Hormuz, and there are indications and there are rumors here coming up that Donald Trump is trying to create another canal where people can pass with their oil. Well, there is a toll gate, let me use that word, on the waterways where you have to pay a toll to Iran before you pass. Also, U.S. have located Iranian money flow, where the money flows within and outside of Iran, and they have blocked that. And mostly, surprisingly, it's Bank of England. That was very shocking to me to hear that most of their money, they funnel through the Bank of England, and it is not funny. You remember that most of this Middle East crisis started with English people landing on that soil. They promised these people this, they promised people that. At the end of the day, they created the crisis and went back home and sat down, leaving Israel and the Middle East to always have this kata-kata going on. But definitely, the Iranian leader is yet to be seen in any video, and the U.S. is talking about, okay, he is still very hot due to that bombing that killed his own father. So Moshtaba is yet to be seen in public since he was named the new supreme leader in Iran. In the United States, there is protest ongoing in Minnesota, the hometown of Governor Tim Walz. And of course, this Somalia, the Somalian community in the U.S., led by this congresswoman, what's that name again? Ilhan Omar. They are really giving Donald Trump a headache. Well, the American military also went hard on some of them, and they, according to Tim Walz, some people were killed. But Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, say he is going to join the protest this morning, and they call it No King Protest. Donald Trump is ruling America as if he is a king, according to them. And because of that, they are protesting that No King Protest. They need their rights, human rights. People have the right to live, worship whatever God they choose, and do whatever they want. But Donald Trump is saying, America first, deal with America, live like American before you start bringing your own. There's also the Sharia law debate that is going on, and some senators, they are now 25 states in America have rejected completely anything called Sharia to be legalized in America. That is half the states of the United States out of 50. Half of them have said no to that, and they are still wooing more. So before that final hearing, we will see how many of those people, how many states will reject completely Sharia being legalized in America. And then if you look at Sharia, anywhere they go, well, according to the Sharia law, they are not allowed to love any non-believer. It means don't love anybody who is not Islam, according to their laws. And that's what some of the senators were saying. Well, I don't know about that, but how can your own faith say you cannot love anybody who does not believe in your own faith? So they live by that dictate of the Sharia, and that means they will kill people in the long run who do not believe in Sharia law. That's what the argument is. Well, those are updates I promised to bring to you earlier on. Let's go back to the conversation with Barrister Chuks Aguba. Well, Barrister, you have been seeing what's going on in Nigeria right now, where our INEC has caused confusion, giving us April Fool's Day message and gifts, where the leadership of the ADC has been put under coma, or is it dead now? No leader, no substantive leader, and whatever the leadership does now will not be recognized by INEC. Their convention is just barely 12 or 14 days away from now. So what is going on in the legal perspective? Can you just interpret what the court said that made INEC decide to take this drastic action?
Okay, firstly, I don't think INEC based their action on any court order. There's no existing court order directing them to do that. So I think it was their own administrative decision.
Okay.
Because maybe aptly they are a party in that suit. But as to whether their action is based on any court directive or order, it is a complete no. There is no such order directing them to the list or to remove from their portals.
What's the interpretation of what the court said? The appeal court just say maintain status quo and all that.
Yeah, status quo is the state of affairs as at the time you filed your suit. What was in existence as at the time you filed your suit. And the status quo means when a court makes an order, it's making a preservative order. Such orders are meant to preserve what is already in existence pending the determination of the main suits or the issues surrounding that case. So it's preservative, it's not destructive. But what INEC has done is destructive. It's like creating an institutional vacuum in an organization. It's like coming to Echo FM now, you remove the management and there's no other management in place, then this program wouldn't hold. So a court cannot make such an order to create a vacuum. Court only makes preservative orders. You know, I heard when you are condemning judiciary. Sometimes this one is no longer judiciary. This particular issue now at hand concerning ADC or Balagombe and the MAC factions These issues surrounding them has nothing to do with judiciary at this moment. It is an internal party affair.
So why is this ambiguity in this decision that discusses?
There is no ambiguity. When the court directs that status quo antebellum should be maintained, it's for the parties to go home. What is already in existence should remain until the determination of the issues before the court. So it is not for INEC to interpret, they interpret the order of courts to suit them. Because what INEC has done is to destroy the organs of that organization. You understand? They have destroyed the organs of the organization, so they are no longer breathing. And if they are no longer breathing, what else are you coming to determine later? Because they have to be breathing so that even if they have a presidential candidate or they have their convention or they do this, then when court makes that order, there will be a continuation of a process. What is already in existence will also continue with this new faction coming in as leader, even if the court decides to sack the other faction.
Okay, just for clarity, for our listeners, when they say maintain the status quo, say the status should remain. What is already on ground, it should remain.
Yes,
what does it really mean?
State of affairs.
Because as at the time this court case was filed, David Mark was already the chairperson recognized, right? Now, if that is that a status quo, or we are going back to pre-David Mark era to maintain status quo of that? What exactly does the court mean? That's when I talk about.
No, what I have explained it when the court rules or orders that status quo antebellum should be maintained. What the court is specifically talking about is that let the state of affairs, whatever is the position of this organization as at the time the case was filed, the position of the organization or the status of the organization as at the time the case was filed by Bala Gombe was that David Mark existed as the chairman of the NWC of ADC party. David Mark existed. And not just existed, the name of that ESCO is the names reflected on the INEC portal as the incumbent working ESCO for that party. And so if that is the affair as at when Bala Gombe went to court, this thing happened in July 2025.
Yes.
Gombe, 29th July. Gombe went to court in September 2025. So as at the time he went to court, there is already in existence a leadership for the party, which is being led by David Mark. And so if you go to the party and you're asking the court, what happened is that they've gone to the courts to determine that that David Mark led the school is not the valid one. And they also sought for an interim order or an interlocutory order to restrain them from parading themselves as the ESCO or from doing any act or, acting in that capacity. And when that was rejected by the Federal High Court, I suppose, they went to Court of Appeal. And the Court of Appeal said, reject and say, go back, maintain the status quo until the determination of that suit at the Federal High Court. They went to appeal for that interlocutory order, not for the whole case, because it has not been decided. It's an interlocutory appeal. And the Court of Appeal said, no, go back, let the status quo remain. And until the determination of the measure, the status quo is that you are challenging this person that he is not authentic. Already he is there. That's why you are challenging it. If he wasn't there, you wouldn't be challenging it. It's because the status quo recognizes him. That is the reason why you are challenging him in court.
So in this case, the INEC was wrong in doing what they did?
Absolutely. Now, you don't need any soothsayer to tell you that the INEC acted or traversed their powers.
All right.
They don't have such powers to delist a political party, but their power stops at monitoring them, because if they have internal issues, it is up to them to decide. Even a court doesn't come into their internal issues, except when you are coming to complain. A member of that party is coming to complain that the constitution of the party was not followed in that arrangement.
Okay.
And that is where I also don't hold brief for the ADC, because I perceive they didn't really do the right thing. Because, when you have these strange bedfellows converging, it becomes a loose convergence
Yeah.
because it's not strong. It has no legal implication. Now, what I mean by legal implication, there is no legal institution guiding them now or bringing them together. It's just under a party. It's a
believe they have a
loose
legal advisor.
consolidation. It's very loose. He compare it to what happened in 2013 when AMPP, what is the one in the party in Lagos then? ANC and the other party, they came together. It was a merger. A legal merger took place. And there was an arrowhead.
ICPC.
Yeah, CPC,
sorry,
AMPP, and the one Tinubu headed
election alliance.
ACN. They came together. There was a merger. If you check what happened that time, there was a merger, and it was legalized.
Yeah.
It was institutionalized, and then the structures were strong because the existing parties formed the structures at the at the grassroots.
Yeah.
But this time around, it's an existing party. Everybody is coming to perch
as individuals.
There is no structural integration at the grassroots. They don't have any structure. They don't even have an ideology. I keep wondering how strange people gather together and form an ideology. And this one brings his ideology, this one brings his ideology. Everybody is talking about thinking to unseat somebody. You're not thinking about the future of the country. Because all they are looking at is a personal purpose vehicle. That's what they are using now. Personal purpose vehicle is a platform of convenience for them to achieve their personal ambition of becoming something or unseating somebody. I'm not holding brief for anybody, but I'm just reasoning objectively here. It's because they didn't do the right thing. If they have done the right thing from the beginning, they won't have this problem. They opened a door for the opposition to indirectly use it to destroy them. Because if you do the right thing, there won't even be any court case. There won't even be INEC coming. If you have done the right thing by maybe constituting a legal body, lawyers with intellect, asking them, go and study the constitution of ADC. How do we make this thing happen?
Well, before I go into that, don't you have any questions?
Yes, sir. I want to put a sprinkle to what you're just saying now. And I was listening to Mike Igini when he talked about democracy. He said democracy has to do with the coming together of the stakeholders that are involved in election in order to bring about a fruitful one in our country. And now I discovered that in our constitution, we have constitution that surrounds freedom of speech, the president, the governor, and how we also, take out or carry out our election. Even the body called INEC, the constitution also covers INEC as a whole. Now, from the constitution, that's subsection 153, it says, at a time before that constitution was repealed, is the INEC chairman is always subdued or under the governor, under the president. But now they gave that particular position a kind of authenticity. They said, of all the bodies established under the section 153 with respect to the Independent National Commission, its powers to make regulations and determine its own procedure should not be subject to direction or control of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, owing to the fact between the ADC and the INEC and the judiciary, and then we have the alleged, opposition party. Now, we saw from what Shile Igbawa, Special Advisor on Research Policy and Strategy to the ADC National Chairman, and what the Publicity National Secretary of ADC said, Bolaji Abdullahi. Now, they are of the opinion that ADC attended the NEC meeting with the INEC, and it says the current National Working Committee be dissolved with immediate effect, and that the already ratified Caretaker Committee, David and Aregbesola, shall henceforth assume full responsibility for overseeing the affairs of the party pending the next national convention. Now, Bolaji and Iwawa, Dashile, they have the same point of view. They have the opinion that it was an April Fool message, so they felt it would change. Secondly, they said the court didn't question their status. It was already dissolved. It was already handled properly. Thirdly, if INEC lacks the interpretation of the law, that the ruling process should look into it properly to know what it is said. Now, the issue of Bala tendering his resignation letter, now he's saying he did not do that. So I want to know, before I start, I will ask multiple questions, please. And then the resignation letter was actually tendered for us to hear. And he said, and that resignation letter was tendered on 17th of May 2025. He said, I, Bala, do hereby notify you of my resignation as member of the National Working Committee of our great party ADC with effect from 26th May 2025. My resignation is to make way for the smooth and effective coalition and restructure, abandoning all the party, or abandoning everything that has to do with the party. So I would be ready to serve everything that has to do with the capacity of the party. Now he's saying he did not tender this resignation to the party. Now, he also made another allegation saying that this particular individual, Bala, actually needed something before he actually tendered his resignation. He wanted to be the National Treasury there. And now because Bala is coming from the Northeast, the Northeast did not see him suitable or capable to handle that position. Therefore, they did not give him that position. And that's actually maybe making Bala angry enough to do what he did. Now, if Bala tendered his resignation letter on the 17th of May 2025, now from 27th of May till the September 9, 2025, even before that time, David Mark was already installed as the national chairman. There was nothing that was happening. Nobody read its head, in as much as one thing or the other was being put in place there. But the chairman, the two of them are saying, why didn't he say something? Chile, the special advisor, is saying that there must be someone that is pushing him because they have actually noticed fleets of cars and him being paraded by police officers. So do you think that democratically INEC has a hand, or INEC is being subdued by a power that is almost greater than him to actually carry out this act?
No, your question is very long, and the whole facts you surrounded it with, it came with so long a fact. But I know the summary of all you are saying is as to what INEC did, whether it's legal or valid. But I have said it already that INEC acted ultra vires its power, and I cannot categorically in this studio affirm that INEC, someone, influenced INEC to do that, or maybe the executive or the ruling party influenced INEC to do that. I cannot categorically affirm that. I can only say what they did is wrong, because they don't have such powers on their own. Even being a party to that suit, as a party to that suit, they don't have powers on their own to carry out actions that will render the suit nugatory. So what they have done is to, a position of fait accompli before the matter is determined, and which is wrong. Under the law, they are not supposed to do that. And what you have said now, internally, what they submitted to one another, cannot verify. He said he did not. They say he did. It's not something verifiable by us here. I know they are in court. They must have presented this matter before the court, made averments with regard to what you have said concerning those documents you have asked me, you mentioned, which is the resignation letter. And the court will determine that aspect, whether he actually tendered it or he did not. And so, but as to your question, I think I've answered it.
Okay, what of the lawsuit that was being tendered that they said these are the lawsuits that were saying that they shouldn't do it? Will you say those lawsuits are also fabricated also?
No, which of the lawsuits? But I know there is an alleged court judgment in 2022, which I'm not privy to.
Okay.
When I have not read the judgment, I cannot categorically talk about it. But there is an allegation that such judgments exist in 2022, that the Ralph Mosu-led ESCO was dissolved in 2022 by a court order. Maybe because ADC then wasn't a strong party, nobody had any interest in it, Ralph continued. But that judgment I cannot verify. But I know there is this alleged judgment in 2022 dissolving Ralph Nwosu, and yet he continued. But if Ralph Nwosu was dissolved in 2022, then even Bala was also dissolved along in 2022. That should be the conclusion now. It shouldn't be him coming to say that. But I know they are also saying that by the constitution of ADC, that when someone is resigning from a particular position, and has not completed his tenure, somebody from the zone where that person comes from will replace the person in that position. This is the constitution of ADC. There's some provision in that constitution saying that. And they are arguing that if Ralph Nwosu from the southeast has resigned, I cannot be David Mark from the north that will replace him. But like I said, these are all internal arguments that the court will now look at it and know whether by the constitution of that party, what was done, has infringed or has violated that provision of their constitution.
Okay. Lastly, will you say too many hands spoils the soup? If you say they have too many people in there, so will you say too many hands spoils the soup?
Too many people where?
Too many hands spoil the soup.
Where do I, that like too many people where? Did I say too many people in ADC?
Too many individuals who know it all in the ADC camp. So will you say it's because of too many hands spoiling the soup? Maybe they all know it all and
yes, I stand to be corrected. They did not do the due diligence. They did not carry out their due diligence in forming their coalition, which is a loose one, which is a purpose vehicle. When you are using a purpose vehicle, you have to, first of all, sit down and check the constitution of that vehicle. When you have to know the manual of that vehicle very well before you can be able to use it. So you know when you are running at a certain speed and there is a signal on the dashboard what to do. But this time around, all of them from all angles, they came together with different ideology, because that's what happens in Nigeria. In fact, there is no political party in Nigeria. We all know this. There is no political party in existence here. It is a place where somebody in this party can change tomorrow and say he has defected to another party. And there is no ideological boundaries. So you cannot say when you are in this party, that this is the boundary of your ideology. I can't cross here. Like in the US, you say the far right, the far left. Here, there is nothing like that. Nobody comes with or believes in anything. Nobody believes in any ideology, including my own man. He's the way he's going about seems is as if everybody is interested in removing somebody. Nobody is interested in any ideology that can sustain the polity.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We just, if you're just joining us, this is Echo FM. And of course, we are live on Straight Talk, No Bending Corners. And we are taking a look at this matter of the ADC leadership that has been delisted on INEC portal. And INEC has since said they will not recognize anything done by this leadership, both factions, whether that of David Mark-led faction or the Bala Gombe-led faction. Well, the case is a suit was filed by a faction linked to Nafiu Bala, challenging leadership changes involving Nwosu, that's Ralph Nwosu, and the others. The court did not grant an interim injunction stopping the new leadership. That's the first thing. EXA participated that the court only directed that the defendants be served and did not grant any injunction.
Yeah.
So my question is, why did David Mark go on appeal at the appeal court since the court never gave any injunction, only directed for them to be served? And they have to know that whether they should grant the interlocutory injunction that was sought after by Bala Mohammed. That is where this whole confusion of going to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court now redirecting them back to the High Court.
Was it David Mark that went?
Yes, it was David Mark that went to the appeal court.
What was he seeking?
He was seeking that their interlocutory injunction be thrown away when the High Court only said they should be served. You understand? They should be served and they should come and tell the court reasons why the interlocutory injunction filed by the Bala Gombe should not be granted. That was the what I got from that particular judgment or statement from the High Court led by Justice Nwite. Justice Nwite was the one that gave that ruling, and of course, David Mark now went on appeal. And this is where the whole thing became messy. Why, in this legal process, what is a lacuna there that could have generated this?
Exactly why I said, we are not privy to this ruling, the copy. When you are discussing ruling from a court, it's until you have read it through, you'll be able to state the grounds or the ratios for deciding such. And this aspect of the issue, why did David Mark, if David Mark went on to the Court of Appeal, then there has to be a ruling. There has to be an order. There has to be something that ignited that appeal. You can't just go to appeal if there is no existing interlocutory order at that moment. And so I was believing it was these other people that went because maybe what they sought for was rejected. What they sought for was rejected. And this one, they went to Court of Appeal. Because I learned it was on an interim basis.
Yeah.
That it was not okay. They wanted the court to grant it on interim basis.
Yes, they said on interim.
On interim basis,
yes,
without
interim
service to the other party.
Court
without
order.
notice.
That was what it was reading.
On interim,
an interim court order
stopping
David Mark and Edo parading themselves as the leaders of ADC.
It wasn't, the order wasn't made.
The order wasn't given.
So
all.
That's why I tell you, it should be Gombe that should be going to Court of Appeal, not
why
David Mark.
did David Mark go there? And
that becomes the confusion I said. Until you see what happened, you can't verify now. Because if court didn't do a particular thing a party is asking him to do, it is the party that lost that goes on appeal, not the other party. It's the party that lost that goes on appeal. So I am still thinking there are some unclear versions of what happened there. But categorically, either way it goes, INEC shouldn't have delisted the National Working Committee of ADC. INEC shouldn't have.
I know that in December last year, a court also stopped there's a suit to challenge the David Mark-led team to do national convention. A court gave an ex parte order which cleared them to go ahead and do their district. So all these court orders, court injunction and ex parte orders are causing a lot of confusion. Why do we keep having ex parte orders instead of court judgments for a substantive suit filed? Technicalities involved, because we read about you didn't file originating summon, you have to fight this, you have to fight that, all those kind of crazy things that the court says all the time without giving
judgment.
It's
not a crazy thing. It's not a crazy thing.
The judgment is never given. It's always an order. Don't do this, don't do that. Until the Supreme Court will rule.
It's not a crazy thing, you know. There are rules to be followed in instituting actions in courts. There are rules you have to follow. We have a high court rules. We have all manner of rules, even appeal court rules. You have to follow them. And when you say they said they have not filed any originating motion, before you seek for an interim order, there has to be an existing suit.
Yeah.
Yes, either by writ of someone or by originating motion. There has to be an existing suit, because the interim should be saying, preserve this thing pending the hearing of the motion on notice for interlocutory injunction, because the interim is not just what lists, it doesn't hold it, it doesn't preserve it till the hearing of the main suit. You only preserve it till the hearing of the motion on notice. So interim usually lasts for 7 days.
Okay.
Interim order it doesn't go beyond 7 days. So when a court makes an interim order, what the court is saying, in the next 7 days, hold on. Because the other party wasn't there when the court made the order. That's why court makes it only for 7 days. It lasts for 7 days. The court said, since you came as party, meaning you didn't inform other parties, you are here telling the court that, they have taken over Echo FM building. They want to pull it down. Government is saying they are going to pull it down. Please, court, make this order. Let it not happen in the next 7 days so that we can serve them. Both the suit and the motion on notice for interlocutory injunction. And so if court makes that order, it is pending hearing of the motion on notice. So that you will be on the know that the court is interested. There is a pending suit, so that you don't render what the court is going to do nugatory. The court will not ask you, come, let's hear your part of whether this order should continue.
That's exactly what Justice Nwite did. When I read that yesterday completely here. We needed to read all of them to find out. Well, we came out that they gave that particular order. Interim order.
Pending hearing of the motion
That
on
was what
notice.
the judge said. And then David Mark headed to the appeal court. And that is where I find it a little bit confusing why he will do that. And the court...
Okay, wait. The court ordered them to stop parading themselves pending hearing on motion on notice. Is that what you're saying?
No, the court never said that.
The court never made it.
That would have been a ruling, but he never said. They said you should wait for the interlocutory in order.
Motion on notice.
On notice until David Marks should come and his people to come and say why they should not grant this on Bala Mohammed plea. That's the long and short of
why they shouldn't grant the order, the motion on notice.
Yes, that's the right language. I'm not a lawyer, so all this is the language. I'm just talking of what I understood from what they read there.
Yeah.
So my worry is, why would David Mark go to the appeal court?
You are going back to that undecided part. It is not something you want to decide anyway, because both of us, we're not privy to what court has said, the judgment to read, to understand, because there must be something in that very order
that made him to
because when you go to appeal, you are saying that the trial court was wrong. Erred in this, it erred in this, and you give your particulars. So you can't just get to
and then the
go to appeal court.
There was no ruling, and they cannot do anything on this. Go back to the appeal to the High Court.
Maintain status quo.
Maintain status quo until the ruling is done at the High Court.
Until the matter is determined by the Federal High Court.
Thank you for the correction of those in the legal language.
So now INEC jumped into that because they are biased. INEC is a corrupt institution.
That is where I was.
INEC is endemically corrupt. It's it's an institution that should be dissolved.
Oh, all right. Let's bring in our listeners into this matter. But before that, I want to let you know that in 2022, that particular judgment which they keep coming, there was no time any court removed Ralph Nwosu as a national chairman in 2022. There was no judgment. There was no major reported 2022 judgment removing or resolving leadership crisis, because the major leadership crisis escalated later in 2025 onward. Most litigations at the appellate rulings were there post this.
Nwosu has been the chairman of that party from 2007 when it was formed.
He was
in 2007.
He's the founder of the party.
So he has been there for up to 18 years. From 2007 when it was formed, he was the chairman. And so he was, because I'm not surprised, nothing was happening then. He was just heading, leading, waiting for the day something will happen.
And it came.
Now the day something will happen came. And now he has willfully submitted to.
As the correct Igbo man,
he did his business.
Come on.
His investment, paid.
That investment, he paid off, man. And somebody is trying to pull wahala. Okay, let's bring in our listeners into this conversation. Good morning. Who did here?
Good morning, Barry. Good morning, our guest.
Okay,
welcome,
good morning.
Sir.
Yeah, Don, I also greet you.
Yes,
my name is Herbert. I call from Port Harcourt Road. I actually feel the pain of our guest there. INEC is corrupt. We talked about Yakubu being the worst INEC chairman. I think we are seeing someone who is worse than Yakubu.
Yeah.
At these early hours, they are really showing us the colors of what 2027 will be like. It's quite unfortunate. INEC has no business with what is happening in ADC. Even the Supreme Court has said it. Party affairs remain internal matters of the party. So why will INEC dabble into party affairs and be fast in the listing ADC? That is wrong. Even the court judgment is return to status quo ante bellum. And what is it? That the substantive chairman or the acting chairman will still remain, David Mark will still remain, because his name is there. Why is INEC acting against the orders of the court? And why is INEC so fast in the listing ADC? They want to turn this country into chaos. We don't want any of that, please. Let them allow democracy to remain as it is. Atiku rightly said, during the time of Abacha, we saw dictatorship. And the people who claim that we are fighting dictatorship are the ones now practicing dictatorship in this country under democracy. That is quite bad. Thank you for having a nice day.
All right, thank you very much, my brother. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
I greet you.
It's Emek. I'm calling from Amasa. Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
My brother, the barrister there, I want to categorically say that it's not only INEC that is.
For lack of time, let's continue. Let's continue.
Everybody,
thank you.
People will interpret what
All
they
right.
know.
Now, let's just, in case of that 2022 judgment, this is what the court said. Just
have you seen it?
Yeah, I just saw some judicial findings. Direct excerpt says the tenure of the national chairman and members of the National Working Committee expired on the 27th day of August 2022. That's the first one. The second one said the actions taken by the ADC and Chief Nwosu in wanting to extend his expired tenure is unconstitutional, null, void, and no legal effect whatsoever. Only the National Convention can elect and or extend the tenure of a national chairman and members of the National Working Committee, which also includes Gombe, who was the national vice chairman, North-East. So if Nwosu was not an ESCO, he too was not an ESCO. So there was no ESCO up until, so at that point, when they say maintain the status quo, what should happen? So
no.
I don't know if you understand where I'm heading to.
No, where you're heading to now is that you're bringing metaphysical interpretation into it.
That concern you.
Now, I remember when I told you there is an alleged judgment in 2022, and you said, but now you've seen it. Now listen. You see,
thank you very much.
So now, what you have described, actually happened.
That's what I'm saying.
But it wasn't executed. It wasn't actually executed. Probably the parties went home and said, okay, because I told you they didn't have any business going on.
After the election.
In that party, yes.
After the election,
so they went home and maybe probably say, well, why are we even killing ourselves? Let's continue this vehicle. Let's move it. Because now, it's their internal affair. They can decide on their own, going back and say, okay, we have re-engineered ourselves again. We continue. And there is an agreement between both the the opposing party and this other party, and they said, we have re-engineered ourselves. Now, let's continue.
Where I was heading to, Ralph Nwosu's tenure expired legally. They said anything he does is null and void. Does it come into play now?
Yeah, it comes into play, but it has to be, because there has been an intervening circumstance. If there was no execution of that and nobody carried it, nobody came out and said, okay, I am now the leader up until now, and he continued with his semi-school. It's an intervening circumstance that,
including Bala Mohammed.
It's an intervening circumstance that INEC also was involved in some of the arrangements before their uploading of their names at the, on their portal.
Okay.
That intervening circumstance that made INEC to upload their names on the portal, it is something court will be the one to determine if it is void ab initio, or if it should continue to exist. It is not something on your own. You will go and dig out from 20 and say, oh, in 2020 it was said. You are not the one. As long as there is an intervening circumstance and there is already a pending suit again challenging this present circumstance. So what is a status quo antebellum is the present circumstance, which is the state of affairs. You cannot import what is not in existence, because you are bringing a paper of what has been declared and that wasn't executed.
All right. Barrister, please, just to add to it, they said this Bala Gombe is not even like the direct national deputy. He's even one of the 6th deputy chairman of
They
the
have
ADC.
6, yes.
That's
represent the North.
Like I said, national vice chairman, not East. Because they have Northwest and North Central.
You can use, even you don't even need Bala Gombe to challenge even an ordinary member of the party with a card. A card-carrying member can come and say, what was done is wrong. That I am not part of it, and I want what should follow the constitution of the party. Even a card-carrying member can do that.
Okay, well, time is no longer our friend. Our time is up now. I'll just take our last caller. 1 minute, please. Good morning and welcome, our last caller for today.
Senior Comrade Linus Duru, who is a member of Imo State, Nigeria. I'm only trying to be fast so that I can meet up with the deadline.
Go ahead.
So now, you see, when we talk of the movement of the Bismarck, I think he is correct, because this very INEC is very crafty. So, and if you talk about the whole SAM in Nigeria, the whole judges in Nigeria, this political party, the political elements knows them one by one. So you cannot go into that very move. You cannot take that move like that, because he wants to take the move. He wants to curtail anything that can come out to pronounce technicality, because I don't know why they are judges are using technicality, which is a real science.
All right.
This is a social science, law.
Thank you.
What I'm saying now is, please allow David Mark to do what he wants to do because he has engagement with the judges and fans.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we'll keep bringing you update as the case unveils.
Sir, please, can I ask just one question?
You see our time?
I know, it's very short.
Okay.
Sir, please, with their convention coming up on April 9th, and now they have the Osun and the Ekiti governorship coming up, please, what do you think the ADC should do? What is the way out, especially for other opposition parties that may be having something like this?
Anyway, they should dip their hands into their pockets and consider a legal team to help them in that regard. They are not listening to us, but their members are the people with their sentiments are the one listening to us there in their various enclaves. But what they should do for me is to go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, they have to go ahead because there's no court order saying that they are no longer in existence. They have to go ahead so that let it be that let the court now, when the court determines whatever the court has to determine in future, there wouldn't be any vacuum because like you said, it's not going to affect governorship elections and even those who are the convention that will go on. Let them go ahead and do what they are doing.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. That's been,
Thank you.
We'll be having the conversation with Barrister Chuk Saguba.
Thank you.
Who is of solid solicitors. Valid solicitors. And of course, thank you very much for coming here. It's also the President Ike Durulayas Forum. Thank you for coming. Up next is the Slim Diva. And of course, today is Friday. Yeah, Duka Dukanku. She matters. Matter we concern Umuai. And they will carry men put for the middle. It can never be very cosmos because Mua, I don't run.
Echo FM.
Echo FM 100.7, the fresh news people.
Fourth Nine is a rising music artist from Edo State.